Hi, thank you all for being here today. I am very excited to tell you about the Sanfoot wood veneers, which are available through National Wall Covering. So my name is Amy Norris. I am with National Wall Covering, and good to see you all. So this is your Sanfoot binder. A couple of facts about Sanfoot. They actually make the steering wheel for the Lexus LS. It's a wood steering wheel. It is an incredible video to watch, unbelievable craftsmanship. They, in addition to that, make the dash for the Rolls Royce. So all that makes Sanfoot sound very hoity-toity and expensive, but really their wood veneers are a very affordable and efficient way to bring wood to your projects without sacrificing any quality at all. So on the inside of your Sanfoot veneer, on the inside of your Sanfoot binder, you have a couple of pictures of Alice Tooley Hall in New York. And the incredible thing about this project is that all of the veneer, which was provided by Sanfoot, came from one log, which is just unbelievable to me. Another amazing thing about this particular project, I think, the Sanfoot veneers are the thinnest veneers that are available, and that allows them to make these beautiful turns. You can see the curves. I think you can see this one pretty well, and it adheres to those curves. You can make those tight turns without the integrity of the veneer being sacrificed. So no cracking. Just beautiful, beautiful project, beautiful installation. Another great thing about the thinness of those veneers is that it allows you to get a much higher yield per log. So we get about 3 times the yield from a log as the traditional methods of making veneers. A side note about our veneers, and as far as their source, we have a large variety of species available to us, but including dozens that come from FSC certified forests. And that is, I know, particularly helpful to know if you're working a LEEDS project. And let us know as early on in the LEEDS project as possible if that's what you're doing, and we can make sure that the species we are showing you are coming from those FSC certified forests. And also just the fact that you're getting such a great yield per log just means that you're having less of a negative impact on the environment and being good stewards of our forests. So moving on a little bit, just some more features about Sanfoot. Obviously we've talked about the thinness, which let me show you here. You can see how the Sanfoot veneer actually wraps a 90-degree turn. And again, it's thinness that allows that, it gives it that much flexibility. But there's also a foil layer in there, and that foil layer gives strength to the veneer so that you don't have that cracking when you make those turns. The foil layer also acts as a moisture barrier, so you do not have the bubbling or blisters in the installation that you might see with some of the competing products which do not have a foil layer. Oh, and of course, another great feature of Sanfoot is that it is pre-finished, which means the staining, if it's stained, and the sealing and the application of the polyurethane is done at the mill. So what is shipped to the job site is already finished. There is no sanding and sealing that has to take place at the job site, which just saves an enormous amount of time and mess. I mean, those poor painters are like, can you please stop with all the dust? We can't get our job done. So it just makes things go much more smoothly at the job site. So in terms of selecting the particular species or product for your project, in your binder, you have a lot of different options. There are, we have cherry, we have oaks, we have rosewood and sapele, just quite a few options represented here, but don't feel limited to what you see here. Just because what you want is not here, please shoot me an email, give me a phone call. It's probably something we can get our hands on, or we can engineer something to look like what you want. We can also help you in terms of the matches that you want on your job, on your particular, or excuse me, before I jump to that, the cuts. So we have our veneers that are flat cut. This would be a flat cut cherry, and you can recognize the flat cut by the cathedral-like lines or effect to the grain. And you'll probably know this, but we'll just buzz through it real quick. We also have our quarter cut. It's the quarter cut wingay. So the quarter cut has a much more vertical direction to it, a cleaner look, less movement. We have our rift cut, which is often used with oak. The difference between the quarter and the rift cut is that the rift has a little bit wider, thicker grain to it, but still the very vertically directed pattern, not pattern, but grain. And then we have a rotary cut. Lots of movement, very wavy. So think of a roll of paper towels. This is cut in such a circular fashion to achieve this appearance. Pretty cool. So those are the different cuts, and then of course we can do different matches. So what would be standard would be book match, where each panel is a mirror image of the panel next to it. We could also do a slip match, where each panel is an exact replica of the one next to it. And then if you have really high ceilings and maybe you need to go 20 feet, we can help you with in matching. And in that case, you would match, you would stack your panels, and they would be matching top to top or bottom to bottom. So those are the different cuts and the different matches that we can help you with. Then otherwise, as far as decisions for your project, maybe you want to stain, and we can definitely help you with staining. Here's a few options, a couple of grays, a red. We have 5,000 stains available. And so if you have maybe it's a carpet yarn or a paint swatch, something from your project, and you want us to match that color, we can certainly do that for you. Another nice bonus of staining your species, your wood veneer, is that the stains actually, the pigment used in the stains actually helps to reduce the effect of direct sunlight on the veneers, and so that you see less variation over time in the color of the veneer. And then the last selection would be the finish. So the standard would be the flat, which you see in the middle. But if you want a little bit more sheen, we could do the 30% or even up to 70%. So the flat has 2 coats of polyurethane to finish, and then additional coats for the 30% and even more for the 70% until you get that 70% reflectivity. So just more polyurethane gets that extra sheen. In addition to using wood on the walls, you can also use these veneers for your door skins or for case goods. So the cool thing is you could actually select a species. We could set aside a flitch for you. So a flitch would be the particular log or block from a log that would be used for your project. And then all the veneers for the walls, for the doors, for the skins, for maybe you're going to do our Transtack, which is a transparent veneer, and you want to use it for some light fixtures. We could set it all aside for you for your project. So definitely communicating with me, your rep, early, and let me know kind of what you're thinking, and I can begin to let Sanfoot know what your plans are, and they can set these things aside so that we can make sure you're getting what you want for your project. One other thing along those lines is our Fine Tech, which is our engineered wood veneers. They are so real wood. They are veneers that are made with more readily available woods that are probably have greater price predictability versus some of the exotics. So for example, this is a piece of zebra wood, real zebra wood, which maybe that's just hitting a price point that's a little bit high for your budget on your project. We can engineer our fine tech zebra wood, which will look incredibly similar to the original zebra, but it may be a little bit better price point for you, be certainly more readily available, and also you get a very consistent product with the fine tech, so that sheet number 1 and sheet number 600 look very, very, very similar. As you know, with any natural product, your sheet number 1 and sheet number 200 from a particular log, you're going to see some variation. It's a natural product, and that's going to happen. One thing that we do to help with that, so in your installation it all looks very smooth and continuous, is we actually will sequence those sheets for you. And so when they arrive at the job site, the sheets are 3 feet by 9 feet, or 10 or 11 if you need, and they are numbered. So it will be number 1, number 2, number 3. Also on the back of each sheet, in addition to the sequence number, it will state bottom, so that the installer knows which is the bottom and that goes on the bottom. And then lastly, it would have a flitch number on there. So if we set aside a flitch for you, it would designate exactly what flitch it came from. So yours should have all the same flitch number for all the same species. Also, regarding installation, I read through the instructions for installing the wood veneers, and it is unbelievably similar to installing vinyl wall covering. So you, in terms of from the wall covering hanger's point of view, it's not a significant difference there. You can still overlap and double cut so that you get the nice tight seams. You can use a clay-based adhesive, which is very common product that's readily available. You do not have to purchase adhesive. We don't even sell adhesive, but you don't purchase Sanfoot adhesive. That sets us apart from the competition. Some of the competitors will require that you purchase their adhesive and also pay freight on their adhesive. And sometimes, anyways, that just creates other issues. You just use a clay-based adhesive and you're fine. That's it. That is our Sanfoot wood veneer products. I am very excited to be able to sell this product, bring it to you. I would love to hear about how you're using wood in your projects and how maybe we can work together. Thank you very much.